The person who wrote this list of questions that I'm working my way through enjoys occasionally that their questions are vague and they're non-specific. And they say that reveals a lot about the person answering them. So part of the challenge of working my way through this list. The next question, what are 3 interesting facts about you? Well, I decided I would just use the context of my family of origin to name 3 things. The first of which is that I was born on March 1st, 1963. And if it had been a different year, I could have been a leap year baby. If I had been born on February 29th, the joke goes, you only have a birthday every, 4 years? Fortunately, I was born on March 1st of 1963. Secondly, we're all a year apart in my family. There are 6 of us, 5 boys and a girl. And my brother Kevin is a year older than me, but for 4 days every year, we are the same age because he was born on March 5th. So here's to you, Kevin. Always nice to share the same age for 4 days every year. The third interesting fact about me in the context of my family is that even though I'm the 5th of 6, I have kind of claimed that I'm the baby of the family. My brother Steve is a real go-getter. He's a year younger than me, and he's always been so outgoing and so inspired and driven. And I'd like to think in some ways I kind of became the baby of our family. Steve, I don't think you mind, but if it ever has to be an official question, you still get the title if you want it. But I tend to think of myself as the baby of the family. Next question, what was the best compliment you've received? Well, I was part of a parish group for a long time. Actually, it was when I was at St. Elizabeth years ago, a pastoral care group. And one of our prayer events at the beginning of a meeting was just to do sort of an affirmation thing with each other. And I'll never forget, somebody said, I am warm, unpretentious, and human. And I've never forgotten those words, especially those 3 together. I really took that as a great compliment. Warm, unpretentious, and human. So I'm grateful for that. I hope I embody that well. What are you really good at, but kind of embarrassed that you were good at it? This is a very easy one. I've referenced it a couple other times, but I am really good at clothes and shoes. I think I'm a very visual person, so those things really matter to me. And I'm really good at getting them for a great price. And it embarrasses me because sometimes I can overdo it. I get a great deal a little too often. And I have to say, there have been a few people in my life, not anybody close to me, not family or friends, but I've had a few people dump some shame on me for that. As a priest, you should be into things that are more important than that. So maybe that's part of where the embarrassment comes from. What is the holy grail of your life? I would say being a published author. I would love to write a book or a screenplay. I would love to be able to put a story together like that and be published. We'll see if I ever get around to it, but it's a great goal. Next question, what do you like most about your family? This is an easy one. Everybody in my family loves to laugh. We all have great senses of humor. It was a great revelation for me years ago to hear that my mom and dad, they were high school sweethearts, and that their laughter is really what brought them together. That my dad did something funny in class, and my mom just loved that he had a great sense of humor. They've passed that along to all their kids, and I'm really grateful for that. What do people think is weird about you? Well, it's probably a long list. Plenty of people would say that I'm a priest is weird. I can live with that. I think that I like solitude. Sometimes might come across as weird. I really do like time alone, and I think that's probably hard to understand if you're not into it. But it's something that I really cherish. Also, I've taken some vacations by myself, and I would have thought that was weird before I did it the first time, but I really loved it. There's some challenging moments and hours and days when you travel alone, but there's a lot that's so precious and really holy about it in my experience. What is something you will never do again? I've kind of wrestled with this question because I tend to think I don't really regret anything hugely. But I thought about one of my mentors, Father Mike Roach. He always told me that sometimes I say too much, and I think I've learned that he's right. Sometimes I talk too much, even though I say I'm an introvert and like solitude. I think you can say too much sometimes and really cause more trouble with too many words. So here I am doing that very thing. Let's see. What dumb accomplishment are you most proud of? This is kind of embarrassing, but I'll just say it anyway. When I was in the seminary, we would have these variety shows, and I actually fronted an air band, and I was the lead singer, and I think I did a pretty good job, actually. I'll say that. But it was out of character, and that's what was fun about it. Kind of a dumb accomplishment, but I'm proud, I guess, that I did it. So, what was the most memorable gift you've received? Tough question, because I really have received so many wonderful gifts in my life. But I will say, when I was a pastor of a parish, I went to somebody's house to anoint a member of the family who was dying. And when I walked in, I saw this beautiful pastel drawing framed over the fireplace of Heceta Head in Oregon. Heceta, Heceta. It's this beautiful lighthouse sitting on a cliff overlooking the ocean, one of the most photographed lighthouses in the world, they say. And as I walked in, I said, "Oh, it's Heceta Head, it's beautiful." And a member of the household said, I actually drew that when I was in the military, and I had a weekend off, and I sat at Heceta Head and drew it, and I said, "It is tremendous, it's beautiful." He did a wonderful job with it. Well, the person I went to anoint died, and after the funeral, this family brought me that pastel drawing of Heceta Head, and I was so touched because it was such an heirloom of the family, or such an important thing that he had done, and I was so touched because it was beautiful. It's a special place to me, and that is a gift that I will really cherish. Let's see, next question I think is the last one. What do you hope your last words will be? There'll be lots of funny answers to this one, but I would hope I can just say thank you. I hope I can just be grateful to God, to anybody who's in the room, but really just to life, to the earth, to the universe. I hope I can just be grateful and say thank you.